Hi, this is Matt with the Intergalactic Herald. Welcome to my Star Atlas Week in Review podcast. This is podcast number 80. Any articles or videos mentioned can be found on my website, intergalacticherald.com. Look for News Recap 129. So before I get started, just a quick summary of things we go over. A couple things on the, actually not a lot, but on the Atlas Brew this past week, and then the Economic Forum. It was a quiet week. But before I get into that, just a couple things on my Star Atlas projects. I do have a Star Atlas merch store, Intergalactic Gear. You can find that at intergalacticgear.com. It's open for business. So far, I'm just selling some Star Atlas branded mugs, but I hope to be adding some more products as time allows going forward. But you can also just go to the website and fill out my merch survey to give me some ideas of some merch you may be interested in purchasing, which helps obviously guide the products I'll be putting out. Also, I'm trying to get together a Star Atlas community, kind of as two things. One is an alternative to the Star Atlas Discord, but also sort of a place for gamers who don't want to join a guild to nevertheless have a place to hang out with a smaller group. And that's called the Intergalactic Coalition. You can find that at intergalacticcoalition.com. I do have an interest survey there and some more information about it, so please check that out if you're interested. So we'll go ahead and get into the main content section. Those I kind of alluded to. There actually wasn't a lot. If you check out my weekly newsletter recap from the past week, over this past weekend were some of the content creators posting some information on Crew, which was great. But now that it's a week later and pretty much nothing much has changed, Star Atlas team hasn't released whatever the interaction with the Sage Lab Starbase is to get your crew moved over there. Kind of died down. I saw some things on Twitter and I guess maybe a little bit in the Discord about Tensor where you can buy and sell your crew cards, but I just haven't made the effort to actually check it out. And I'll be blunt, partly because I don't know. I mean, I got crew from the airdrop. I can't do anything with them, so I don't know why getting a crew with a different set of traits matters, because we still don't know what they're going to do. So, but again, to each his own. I mean, if you wanted to go and you're interested in that stuff, that's great. So Star Atlas did have two events this past week. The last Wednesdays, is typical, they had the Atlas Brew. It was more of a free flow one, not a set agenda. So they're kind of giving some different updates just in general, what things were going on. The first couple of points I wrote down. One, the upcoming Nabathon, which is the hackathon that they're having in preparation for the Breakpoint. Actually, I think the submissions might have ended today. I'm recording this on Saturday, September 7th. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. So it may already be closed. They did mention people that had turned out mostly to be current community members, which, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But they did mention that they did learn a lot about how to better promote it, maybe having two events going on simultaneously, the crew card launch and the hackathon maybe wasn't the best. And some things I wasn't really following about kind of how the overall Solana community works. But anyways, sounds like it's not the first, or it's the first one, but probably won't be the last one. So we'll see about, what they truly did learn if they do another one. And then they were kind of talking a little bit about the upcoming Breakpoint, which is the Solana conference in Singapore that the Star Atlas team is going to have a pretty big presence at. They did mention that all their presentations will be live streamed, so that's great. Though I did make that first kind of connection that since they're in Singapore and I'm in the United States, it's on the other side of the world. So live stream may not be as important. So hopefully somebody's recording said live streams and can watch them later. So I guess fingers crossed on that one. They did mention they got 500 signups, and I'm trying to remember what that was about, so maybe I missed something. Yeah, so I'm not sure. They also mentioned the bigger Breakpoint conference has about 5,000 conference attendees, so I guess that's good, 10%, but again, I can't afford to fly to Singapore for a conference, so especially about a game. But anyways, they were mentioning that, and I think they went over a couple other topics. So it was a fine brew. Nothing there, but also nothing totally new information type of thing. And then I'm not sure which day. Again, I guess before I forget, always thank Star Atlas TV for doing the recordings, because I pretty much catch up on everything Friday evening. So Star Atlas did have their Economic Forum, which is again kind of like the 1 hour brew, but it was just hosted by the Star Atlas Econ team. So they showed lots of charts. I was actually intentionally trying to pay more attention to this, and I think I kind of got it a little better, but it was still hard to see the charts, partly because just with the recording and the laptop, I couldn't read the data what do you call it? I can't think what's the term, the numbers on the scale, the x-axis, y-axis. So it was a little hard other than just listening, but then you kind of look at a chart and you can't see numbers. And so, actually I was thinking about it. Maybe they don't want to publish them, but it would be cool if they gave us a PDF of that afterwards to look at, but whatever. So that was cool, but again, hard to fall on because I couldn't see the numbers. One thing they did mention that I found very interesting was they mentioned that in Starbase, because obviously they can see things because they have the actual game logic, that there's about 1,100 active daily users. And that's great in the sense that there are active daily users, but I have to kind of admit that seems like such a low number. It just seems like a low number. And again, I'm not sure what a high number would be, but I don't know, I guess just looking at the total number of people that are registered in the Discord server and other things. But now I say it out loud. I mean, if you think of the names you see constantly showing up, I guess that's probably in the teens or double digits, not triple digits. So maybe that's a lot of other people. So again, at least there's daily active users. I guess is probably accounting for some of the fees and things like that. So. And then the other thing the econ team mentioned was maybe, and I think this was more of just ideas as opposed to work doing it, but maybe bringing back the RFR, which I forgot what it even stood for, but I know it was the way to gain Atlas in the version of Sage Labs before the current version, which had the LP. So I don't know if that would be something more accessible to small players. I kind of got that feeling. But they also had a thing about ship recipes, but then kind of like, well, maybe we don't want to do that. So I wasn't actually sure kind of the discussion, if it was just more of getting community feedback, which again, in that sense is awesome, or was more of, hey, I think we're going to do some things to maybe help out the small player gamer. So anyways, but again, it was still great. They are doing this monthly, and it's a great opportunity to present for the entire community what the econ team is thinking about. So that's also great. But that was kind of it. It was a very, very quiet. And I guess if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Actually, I'll get into that in the next segment. I realized I wrote down these things. So now we'll go into my two final segments. One is just kind of my thoughts on the state of Star Atlas as of now, and then sort of my journey. So I do this, I'll just stick with in order. Yeah, crew excitement definitely seems to have waned. I think I just saw one of the content creators post another opening video, but that definitely has. I think I saw on Twitter somebody might have pulled an anomaly, but I just didn't have enough interest to click the video. Again, it's just really hard, and I guess it comes by, and I did really appreciate last week OCG Thor posting his kind of critiques of it, and I think they were really spot on. And I don't know if it left a bad taste, but it definitely left a missed opportunity. And I said in the last podcast, there's just nothing to do, and you can't get him into Sage. Not that I know why I would need him there, but yeah, it's just really hard because the attributes and the rarities and all that are just words on a paper. But it may come down to, at the end of the day, it's just not something I'm interested in. I mean, I like collecting, so again, owning the ships is cool, owning the crew is cool, having resources and stockpiled, all that's cool. But I'll be honest, I was never into Pokemon. Definitely don't remember trading. To totally date myself, I remember baseball cards when I was in grade school, and I think I did it for 1 year, and somewhere I think I still have them, so that's just a nice little nostalgia hope that I have them. But that was it. I mean, but I don't know. I guess because you were when again, this is the whole concept of trading cards. They only have value if you want them to have value. And if that's why people are buying and selling the Star Atlas crew cards on Tensor, I mean, to each his own, that's great. But I'm looking more for wanting to play a video game, and I have no problems collecting different things, assets, whatever you want to call them, to play the game. But unfortunately, again, as I've been saying before, there's nothing to play. There's absolutely nothing. I mean, Starbase has a game loop. It does have an economic model, but I did what I wanted to do, and I've always said it's a time component. Even with the Sly Assistant tool, which reduces the time considerably, still no goal to accomplish. So I'll be looking to see what's coming out. So, but again, as far as community sentiment, definitely Crew is, to me, in the back rearview mirror, and we're moving on because you kind of got to be over on Tensor for that. It definitely feels like Breakpoint is the next kind of opportunity for a big update from Star Atlas. I wonder if, again, that's why the team is kind of more quiet, because why would you release something 2 weeks before you have this great opportunity to make a splash? And historically, the Breakpoint conference last couple of years, especially the one 2 years ago, was a massive opportunity for Star Atlas to show off its vision and roadmap for the future and things like that. So totally understand that maybe a quiet month of things, so that's great. And even though I kind of alluded to it already, the 1,100 daily active users, I do kind of have, again, mixed feelings about that. It feels really small for a game that's been out for a few years, but the Discord seems slower too. And again, I admitted I'm no longer playing Starbase because it just isn't engaging, takes too much time, even if the time is minimal, but there's no purpose, no goal to accomplish something. I don't have a big enough fleet to make the Atlas collection, which, again, I assume people are doing that because that has a real world value attached to it, unlike the resources and the raw materials and things like that, which are more about in-game utility. So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess there's at least a core mass, but, a missed opportunity of the Crew cards, not to have the mobile app for people could keep doing things, the lowering the barriers to entry, for people to do something with a smaller investment, or sorry, I shouldn't say investment, but a smaller pay to play a game or buy a ship or a crew or something like that. So anyways, okay, I have no purpose for this, so I won't continue. But then just to wrap it up on my journey, yeah, I did absolutely nothing related to gameplay this week. Again, kind of feel like just take a break, nothing really different to do. I kind of decided, I think I may have mentioned a couple podcasts, I was toying with the idea of trying to craft one of the ships in Starbase, Redeem, I guess. You get all their things, and then I guess you have to craft it to get it. So yeah, redemption, whatever. But I decided against it at the end because I could spend weeks moving forward, and then maybe that ship's no longer available, and then all that time was wasted. So unless it's a permanent guaranteed loop, I can't see any reason, based on the amount of time it would take me with my fleet size, to accumulate all those things. Plus, as I found during my thing, you pay a lot of resources to mine and build up there. So, and then I don't even know if you can get crew in there to do crafting. So again, it just feels completely not worth. There's no guarantee of an end result. So I just decided to skip it. If I really wanted the ship, I guess I could just go buy it too, which I don't. I mean, it was more of a reason to keep playing. But again, I've seen pretty much a slowdown across all the Discord, the Star Atlas ones, and sort of the other related ones to Star Atlas I follow, from the Super Phoenix DAO to the Sly Assistant and the Evi Discord. Everybody seems to be quiet. Thought it was summer, but we'll see if anything picks up. But again, with Breakpoint, a few more weeks away, I kind of think everything will be calm. Anyways, okay, I'm done. Sorry, very disorganized because there wasn't a lot. But I do want to mention I did finish publishing my 2 new additional beginner's guide. So I had my original beginner's guide at intergalacticherald.com, which sort of started from absolutely nothing, how to get on a crypto exchange, set up a wallet, move things around, do the initial steps within the different aspects of Star Atlas, from building a profile to buying a ship, things like that. So this time I kind of refined one part of it to make it a little more focused, which was if you had $100 up front and you're willing to put in $20 a month to keep playing the game, what could you do? And so it started assuming you figured out how to get crypto and everything there. It went through exactly buying 2 ships, buying a claim stake, staking both those or enlisting them to earn Atlas in the faction fleet or the 4Rs in the claim stake, and kind of moving through then what you could do with all that. So that was the first additional guide I added. And the second one was to talk about Starbase, but more of a how as opposed to a why. I leave all the strategy and, is this actually economic? In fact, I was very clear that this has nothing to do with whether or not this is something you can make money on. But it was more of, because it was mentioned there was a kind of gap in that information, so decided to kind of do the same style step by step. So again, how to create your profile within Starbase, how to move resources into it, how to form your fleets, and then go through the rudimentary actions of mining, scanning, movement, and then ultimately kind of how to handle your caracals. So if you're interested in kind of now this entire step-by-step, they're all kind of intertwined. It's not literally a step one, step in, because you can branch at different points on Starbase, or maybe you want to go over and try the showroom. But anyways, that's all there. You can go to intergalacticherald.com, look for the Star Atlas guide link at the top, and hopefully those are interesting. And again, I hope they're great to share with other beginners that might be interested in getting going. So, but again, I'll admit they aren't about strategy, and they're not about return on investment, none of that. So anyway, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. Again, I'm definitely still open, though I haven't been very active myself trying to get podcast guests. Again, just focused on the getting those guides out, and well, before that was actually playing Starbase. So definitely open to any other community members if you just want to talk about the Star Atlas news, kind of do the analysis for the week in review. That'd be great. I'm also interested in any other content creators to do an interview. It could be Star Atlas builders, obviously any team members that would love to come on and talk about kind of a beginner's approach to Star Atlas. Love to have any kind of guests. And then lastly, just again, mentioning my 2 Star Atlas projects. Again, if you're interested in any Star Atlas merch, again, so far just mugs, but hopefully to add more products, please go to intergalacticgear.com and you can check out the mugs. Otherwise, please fill out the merch survey that's there. And I am still very interested in starting kind of a different Star Atlas community that isn't the Star Atlas Discord. Is open to, well, it's open to everybody, but definitely people who aren't going to join a guild but nevertheless want to hang out with a smaller group of Star Atlas gamers. Please go to intergalacticcoalition.com, and I have an interest survey there, plus you can learn more information about it. So thanks very much for listening to me this past few minutes. Just give you kind of the week in review of Star Atlas. Hope you have a great week ahead. This is Matt with the Intergalactic Herald.